The silence was deafening. One moment, the world knew every detail of Justin Bieber's life. His blonde hair, his baby face. His every move scrutinized by millions. Then, nothing. For months, he vanished. No Instagram stories. No paparazzi shots. No leaked studio sessions. Just whispers in the industry corridors and worried fans refreshing their feeds, hoping for a sign of life from the pop prince, who once ruled their world. But when he emerged, nobody was ready for what they saw. Gone was the smooth-faced boy who sang Baby to screaming crowds. In his place stood a man, rugged, battle-worn, with a full, untamed beard that told stories his music never could. This wasn't just a new look. This was a rebirth. And it was just the beginning of the most shocking comeback in pop history. The transformation didn't happen overnight. To understand how we got here, we need to go back. Back to a time when Justin Bieber was just a kid with a dream, uploading covers to YouTube from his bedroom in Stratford, Ontario. Picture this. It's 2007. Justin is 12 years old, sitting cross-legged on his bedroom floor with a cheap guitar and a webcam. His mother Patty films as he strums the opening chords to So Sick by Nijo. His voice cracks slightly. His hair falls into his eyes. But there's something there. Something raw and unpolished, yet undeniably magnetic. Should I post it? He asks his mom, already knowing the answer. That video would change everything. Within months, those bedroom covers caught the attention of Scooter Braun, a young talent manager scrolling through YouTube at 3 in the morning. The rest, as they say, is history. But history has a way of leaving scars. By 14, Justin was living in Atlanta, working with Usher, recording his first album. The machine had found its newest product, and it was hungry. They packaged him perfectly. The swoopy hair, the purple hoodie, the innocent smile that made teenage girls weak in the knees. One time hit the charts like lightning. Then Baby turned him into a global phenomenon. But success at that level, at that age, comes with a price most people can't imagine paying. The screaming never stopped. Imagine trying to grow up when every mistake, every awkward phase, every moment of rebellion is broadcast to the world. When you can't go to the grocery store without being mobbed. When you can't date without death threats being sent to your girlfriend. I just want to be normal, he told Rolling Stone in 2011. His voice barely above a whisper. But normal was never an option. Not for Justin Bieber. The cracks started showing around 2013. The sweet kid from Canada began acting out, egging his neighbors. House, getting arrested in Miami, abandoning his pet capuchin monkey at customs. Each headline more outrageous than the last. The media pounced. Justin Bieber's downward spiral. From teen idol to troubled star. They picked apart every choice, every friendship, every moment of teenage rebellion as if it were evidence of moral decay. But what they couldn't see was the boy drowning inside the machine. The panic attacks before shows, the sleepless nights staring at hotel ceilings, the way his hands shook when he tried to eat in public. I was angry, he would later admit. I was hurt. And I didn't know how to deal with any of it. Then came Selena. Their love story played out like a teenage fairy tale broadcast to the world. The red carpet appearances, the matching outfits. The way they looked at each other like they were the only two people in the universe. But fairy tales don't prepare you for real life. And real life was brutal for two kids trying to love each other under the glare of a billion flashbulbs. They broke up, got back together, broke up again. Each cycle more painful than the last. Each reconciliation dissected by tabloids hungry for drama. The fans took sides. Team Selena, Team Justin. As if love were a sport to be won or lost. She was my first everything, Justin confessed years later, his voice heavy with the weight of memory. And I didn't know how to be someone's everything back. The relationship became toxic. Not because they didn't love each other, but because the world wouldn't let them love each other in peace. Every argument was front-page news. Every romantic gesture became a PR move. Love turned into performance, and performance turned into poison. When they finally ended things for good in 2018. Something inside Justin broke that the public couldn't see. He disappeared again. This time, truly disappeared. Friends say he spent weeks in his Beverly Hills mansion, barely leaving his room. The curtains stayed drawn. The phone went unanswered. The boy who once commanded stages in front of 50,000 people couldn't handle walking to his own mailbox. I thought about giving up music, he revealed in a rare interview. I thought about disappearing completely. But sometimes the darkest moments lead to the most beautiful beginnings. It was during this period of isolation that Justin met Hailey Baldwin again. They'd known each other for years, moved in the same circles. But this time was different. This time, she saw past the headlines and the hysteria to the scared kid underneath. Their courtship was quiet. Secret dinners in small restaurants. Long drives with no destination. For the first time in years, Justin experienced something he'd almost forgotten existed. Peace. When they got engaged after just a few months, the world called it a rebound. A publicity stunt. But those close to them saw something else entirely. They saw a man learning to love himself through loving someone else. She saved me, Justin said simply when asked about Hailey. And maybe that's exactly what happened. But saving someone and fixing someone are two different things entirely. The marriage helped, but it didn't erase years of trauma and poor coping mechanisms. Behind the Instagram posts of their happy moments, Justin was still battling demons most people couldn't imagine. He started talking openly about his struggles with depression, about Lyme disease affecting his physical and mental health, about prescription drug dependency that had spiraled out of control during his darkest years. I was popping pills like they were candy, he admitted in a documentary. Anything to make the noise stop. The public saw glimpses of this struggle. Paparazzi photos of him crying in public. Videos of him breaking down during concerts. A man in his early 20s carrying the weight of a lifetime of scrutiny and expectation. But here's what most people missed. While Justin was fighting his demons, he was also fighting his way back to music. Real music. Not the manufactured pop that had made him famous, but the raw, emotional storytelling that had drawn him to a microphone in the first place. Changes in 2020 was his first real attempt at vulnerability. Songs about depression, about marriage, about trying to grow up in public. The critics were mixed, but something more important happened. Justin started healing through his art again. Then came Justice in 2021, an album that tackled everything from social issues to personal pain to spiritual awakening. It debuted at #1, but more importantly, it marked a turning point. Justin wasn't just making music anymore. He was making statements. I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago, he said during the album's promotion. Hell, I'm not the same person I was 5 months ago. Growth isn't linear, though. And for someone who'd lived their entire adult life in the spotlight, finding authentic self-expression was like learning to walk again. He took another break from touring, from social media, from the machine that had created him. This time, though, it wasn't running away. It was running toward something. The early signs were subtle. A different energy in his Instagram posts. Longer hair. A scruffier appearance. Photos with Hailey that looked more relaxed, more genuine than anything he'd shared in years. Then came the beard. But Swag wasn't just an album. It was a manifesto. Gone were the polished pop anthems and radio-friendly hooks. In their place, raw hip-hop influences, experimental production, and lyrics that pulled no punches about his journey through hell. And back, the album featured collaborations with artists like Gunna, Drewski, Dijon, Lil B, Sexy Red, and Cash Cobain, names that signaled a dramatic departure from his previous musical direction. This was Justin stepping fully into a new artistic identity. The lead single hit like a cultural earthquake. Justin, with his full beard and completely transformed appearance, rapped about his struggles with fame, his battle with addiction, his journey to self-acceptance. The boy who once sang about teenage love was now spitting bars about surviving in an industry that eats its young. Y'all wanted me to stay 17 forever, he raps on the opening track. But I'm 31 now, and I've got shit to say. The music videos accompanying the album were equally shocking. Gone were the polished, big-budget productions. Instead, grainy footage that felt more like personal documentaries. Justin in the studio at 3 a.m., beard wild, eyes intense, pouring his soul into the microphone. In one particularly powerful scene, he's shown looking at old photos of himself. The blonde hair, the baby face, the manufactured smile. He closes the album and walks away, but not before the camera catches a single tear rolling down his cheek, disappearing into his beard. The transformation was complete, but it had taken over a decade to happen. Critics didn't know what to make of it. Some called it his best work yet, authentic, raw, uncompromising. Others mourned the loss of the pop prince they'd grown up with. But the numbers didn't lie. Swag debuted at #1 in over 30 countries. More importantly, it felt real. In a way Justin's music hadn't in years. The bearded Justin Bieber, performing these songs on late-night TV, was unrecognizable from the kid who'd won over America with Baby. But maybe that was the point. Maybe this was who he'd been trying to become all along, before the machine got hold of him. I spent so long trying to be what everyone else wanted, he said in a rare interview after the album's release. The beard, the new sound, the whole thing. This is just me finally being comfortable with who I actually am. The facial hair became symbolic of something larger. A rejection of the perpetual youth that had been forced upon him. An embrace of manhood, of maturity, of the right to evolve beyond the image that had made him famous. Fans old and new responded powerfully. The believers who'd followed him since 2009 saw their idol finally becoming the artist they'd always hoped he could be. New listeners who'd written him off as a teen pop relic were forced to reconsider everything they thought they knew about Justin Bieber. But perhaps the most beautiful part of this whole transformation was how it reflected in his personal life. Photos of him and Hailey from this period show a couple more in love than ever. She's said publicly that she's never seen him more confident, more at peace with himself. He looks in the mirror now and likes what he sees, she revealed. Not something I could say a few years ago. The beard became more than just facial hair. It became a symbol of growth, of healing, of a man finally comfortable in his own skin. Social media buzzed with before and after photos. The baby-faced teenager next to the bearded man. But those who looked closely could see the through line. The eyes were the same. The soul was the same. He'd just finally grown into himself. Industry veterans began comparing his transformation. Two other artists who'd successfully evolved their image. Johnny Cash's later years. Bob Dylan's constant reinvention. Artists who'd refused to be trapped by their early success. What Justin has done is remarkable, said one longtime music executive. He's managed to honor his past while completely reinventing his future. The beard is just the external manifestation of years of internal work. As swag continued dominating charts worldwide, something else became clear. This wasn't just a one-off experiment. Sources close to the situation confirmed there's more new music on the way. The bearded Bieber era was just beginning. The man who once couldn't leave his house without being mobbed by teenage girls now walks confidently through the world. His beard, a badge of honor. His new sound, a declaration of independence. He's finally become who he was meant to be all along. Not the manufactured pop prince the machine created, but the artist, the man. It's a human being who'd been fighting to emerge for over a decade. The beard tells the whole story. Every day it grew was another day of healing. Every whisker, a small act of rebellion against an industry that wanted to keep him frozen in time. And when he looks in the mirror now, beard full and eyes clear, maybe he finally sees what Haley saw all along. Not the troubled teen star or the manufactured pop idol, but Justin Drew Bieber, a man who survived fame, survived himself, and came out stronger on the other side. The transformation is complete. The boy is gone. The man remains, and honestly. The world is better for it. This story isn't just about a beard or a new album. It's about what it means to grow up in public, to survive fame. To find yourself when the whole world thinks they already know who you are. Justin Bieber's transformation reminds us that people can change. That growth is possible, that sometimes the most beautiful thing about a person isn't who they were, but who they became. What do you think about Justin's incredible transformation? Has his journey inspired you in your own life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to Luminoir for more fascinating celebrity transformations and untold stories behind the headlines. We dive deep into the moments that change everything, the struggles that shape us, and the triumphs that define us.